Guys, it has finally happened. For the first time in the 2024 MLB season, the Seattle Mariners are in first place, baby. Let's go. The Mariners taking the win tonight over the Texas Rangers. Final score was 4-0. Logan Gilbert, he is my player of the game. You could have gone with Julio today. You also could have gone with Cal. Cal went 2 for 4 with a homer. Julio hit his first home run of the season. Great to see that happening. It took him only about 27 days, almost 4 full weeks, but he finally gets that first home run in Texas. And I'm not worried about Julio at all. I'm also not worried about Cal at all. Cal's been our best player over the past week. At this point, the only guy on the offense that I'm worried about is probably Mitch Garver. But other than him, man, I think the offense is really looking good right now. Even Luke Raley checking in with a hit tonight. Josh Rojas with a nice double. J.P. Crawford reached base with a double. J.P. Crawford, I believe, is almost above 200 now, so that's awesome to see. Everybody is doing their job right now as a Seattle Mariner, and the guy who I thought did the best job of the day was Logan freaking Gilbert. 6 2/3 of an inning, no runs allowed. He has been on fire. His ERA is now down to 1.82 as he is currently, making a case for American League Pitcher of the Month. If you pull up the American League pitching stats, you're going to see he is still behind a couple of guys in terms of ERA. Ronel Blanco, obviously, who threw that no-hitter, is probably, the perceived front runner right now for pitcher of the month. And Cutter Crawford on the Red Sox has been really dynamic as well. But Logan Gilbert's right there, man. 1.82 ERA. He struck out 6 more guys today, so I believe he is still among the leaders of the entire league in strikeouts, which is awesome. Yeah, he's been great. He's been nasty all season long. He's just giving this team a chance to win every single game. 6 strikeouts, just 4 hits allowed, and a single walk. I mean, he's been so good. So good. I can't say this enough. Logan Gilbert, he started 5 games this season, and he has been my player of the game in 4 of those 5 games. That is insane, and I do think he deserved it today. Anytime you're going 6 innings, no runs, striking out 6 guys, it's hard for me to not give you player of the game unless somebody just had a monster day at the plate. Cal did have those 2 hits. Julio went 1 for 3 with a home run and a walk. I didn't think either of those were good enough to surpass Logan Gilbert as player of the game. But my goodness, man, we were in first place. We just beat the Rangers, who we were terrible against last year. First game against the Rangers, we needed to get off to a good start. We did. Now tomorrow, we've got Bryce Miller, who's also has a case for AL Pitcher of the Month. Bryce Miller, he takes on, of course, John Gray of the Rangers. And yeah, let's just take a look. I'm going to bring up the AL pitching stats right now. Right now, Logan Gilbert in the American League, he is 8th in ERA at 1.87. Bryce Miller is 7th. And they are still behind Tariq Skubal, Tanner Houck, Tyler Anderson, Ronel Blanco, Jose Barrios, and Cutter Crawford. However, if you go to innings pitched, you're going to see that Logan Gilbert is number 1. He leads Tanner Houck by a full inning. If you go to strikeouts, Logan Gilbert is number 2, behind Luis Castillo, tied with Tariq Skubal. If you go to walks and hits per innings pitched, Logan Gilbert number 2 behind Tariq Skubal. And Bryce Miller, he is number 3 right now in walks and hits per innings pitched. That is insane. Then if you go to opponent's batting average, Bryce Miller 2, Logan Gilbert 3. So, yeah, right now, probably I would say Ronel Blanco, he is probably the front runner. Either him, Cutter Crawford, Jose Barrios, Tariq Skubal, and then 5 and 6 right now are Gilbert and Miller. That's pretty awesome that we have 2 of the 6 best pitchers in the American League. And that's just how it goes for the Seattle Mariners, man. We are a pitching factory here in Seattle. But anyways, guys, that is all I have to say about this one. I was glad to see Luke Raley get some playing time tonight, even though it did mean that we didn't get to see Jonathan Clase. But I'm happy when sometimes, I think we got to mix it up, and getting Luke Raley some playing time is nice. So right now, Raley, Dylan Moore, and Dominic Canzone have each started 10 games now for the Mariners. The only guys from the opening day roster who haven't started 10 games are Luis Urias, who has started 9, and then Sebi Zavala has only started 5 games. Clase has also started 5. So that is where the roster is at. Everybody else is well above 15 at this point. Nobody has started every game, though. Every guy has had at least one off day, which I like. I kind of like that. I think last year, Eugenio Suarez started every single game, and Not that that was a bad idea, but it definitely felt like by the end of the season, he was getting to a point where he could have used an off day. And he did have some off days. He played some. He had some DH days, but he was in the lineup every single day. And I think that, honestly, I do think it's smart to give guys rest days. I think Julio probably, at this point, he's no longer cold. Julio should probably be in the lineup every single day unless he's hurt. But even like J.P. Crawford, who is like, yeah, give JP an off day every now and then against a tough lefty. Let Dylan Moore play some shortstop, right? Mitch Haniger, as good as he's been, needs some rest. Cal Raleigh, obviously, as a catcher. Polanco, you can give him an off day every couple weeks. He's an injury-prone kind of player as well, so, let Josh Rojas play some second base. That's what he did last year. Or, let Dylan Moore play second base. There's lots of ways you can make it work, so I really like the way they've been working that in. Tomorrow against John Gray, I'm not sure if we're going to see Raley or Clase. We may end up seeing both of them. I guarantee you that on Thursday against the left-handed Andrew Heaney, Luke Raley will not be in the lineup. So that will be, we're definitely going to get to see Clase and Dylan Moore, I believe, on Thursday. But I'm interested to see tomorrow if they maybe work in an off day for Garver. Potentially they could do that. Maybe work in an off day for Mitch Haniger. Although they just had an off day on Monday, so that probably isn't happening. In that case, there's a good chance we see Clase in left field, I think, 2 days in a row. Or you could even do Clase in left field tomorrow and then Demo in left field on Thursday. You have a new left fielder for each game in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route either. They're still kind of just, I feel like until Canzone is back, you're just trying to see who you've got out there in left field. But I would advise them, don't let Jonathan Clase sit on the bench for too many days in a row. He is here to play. He's not here to be a bench guy, right? He's a prospect, and the worst thing you can do to a prospect is to call him up and put him on the bench, right? That's what the Mariners did to Jared Kelenic, and it didn't work. We had to send him back down, right? We tried him out for a couple months as a starter. He was bad, and then we moved him to the bench, and that didn't help him at all, right? The next season, he actually improved because he had spent a lot of 2022 in AAA, improving. And so, yeah, I mean, you don't call up a prospect and then have them sit on the bench. That's a bad team management 101. And so hopefully when Dominic Canzone is healthy, which supposedly he could be healthy by the end of the week, Clase will get sent back down to AAA Tacoma. I don't think Clase has earned a spot as a starter yet this year. I know he had some nice highlights against Colorado, but I don't think he's earned a spot as a starter. So if I'm the team, I would send him down when Dominic Canzone is healthy. Maybe Canzone needs to do some rehab in Tacoma. Not sure. But essentially, like, for Clase to earn a roster spot, he has to be better than Canzone was, in my opinion. And I don't think he has been yet. I think Canzone, in his 10 games before he got hurt, was better than Clase has been in his 5 games. And as good as Clase is, as fun as he is to root for, as much as I would love to have him at the end of the bench, just like coming in as a pinch runner every single game, that is not the right thing to do for his development. If you really think that he can be a future outfielder, right, which you might, right? You might see him as the long-term replacement for Mitch Haniger in right field. Or you might think that, maybe Dominic Canzone you're not sure about. But you can't give up on Canzone after 10 games, especially when his 10 games have been better than Clase's 5. Now, if Canzone after 40 games, or if Luke Raley after 40 games is terrible and is hitting 210 with not much power, then you can call Clase up and you either DFA Canzone, or Canzone does have minor league options, so you can send him down, you can DFA Raley, but you can't give up on him this early. So Clase is going to have to go back down. I know we love Clase. I love watching him play. I wish we could, but I mean, unless they really don't think he has a future as an MLB starter, I mean, if you don't think he's going to be a future starter in the outfield, then you just keep him on the team as a pinch runner / pinch hitter, and I guess you DFA Luke Raley right away, or you can send down Luis Urias because he hasn't done much at all. So you could do that. That's an option. But I don't think that. I think that the team really does think that Clase has the potential to be a starting everyday outfielder in this league. I think they think he's either going to take over in right field when Mitch Haniger is done, and Mitch Haniger is here for 2 more years, or he's going to end up being better than Canzone and being left fielder. But that's kind of the only spots for him. You know, he's not going to be in center field because Julio's there. He's not going to be. You're not going to waste his defense as a DH, and he can't play the infield. And again, like putting him as a bench kind of fourth outfielder, you can't do that yet. Like if you try him out as a starter and he's bad for a long period of time, then you can do that. But anyways, I digress. I've been talking about Jonathan Gauthier for the past 5 minutes. Anyways, guys, it was a great win. I love it. Go Mariners. We're in first place. Hopefully we continue it and keep it up tomorrow. I think we can win tomorrow. Honestly, it's a favorable matchup. Bryce Miller against Andrew Heaney. That should be nice. And then we got Castillo on Thursday. Or no, it's Miller against John Gray. Then Thursday we got Castillo on the mound against Andrew Heaney. Both of those games are favorable for the Mariners, I would say. So we could definitely come in and sweep this series. Not expecting us to sweep, but it'd be awesome if we did. Really get a leg up in this division and show the Rangers this year we're the boss. This year we're the ones bossing you guys around. No more of that nonsense last year. This is our year. And so far, so good, right? So far, so good. Anyways, guys, this is the NWB Sportscast. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, go Mariners.